Welcome back for the final time today on day one of the Manx Rally 2 special stage for our live coverage of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. This is round 2 and tomorrow will be round 3. 2 rounds from one rally. As you can see, the spectators have joined us here at Sartfield Hairpin, an iconic bit of rally stage. This is Little London. It is stage 9 and it's a bit of a blast. 11.5 miles, 11.53 miles to be exact. And the cars are in the arrival, just waiting for the course car to make it to the end of the stage, and we'll have our cars. We're just about a mile into this stage, so we'll have our cars pretty quickly, and we've got about 15 minutes or so after the stage starts, maybe a bit longer before we start to see the light dying and we'll hit sunset. The spotlights and the bumper pods, I'm pleased to tell you, are bolted on. I know that laser lamps are formidable pieces of equipment, but there's nothing better than a rally car covered in spotlight pods and bumper pods, and that exactly is what we saw in service before this second leg of the Manx Rally. We hope you've enjoyed our live coverage today. Great job by Phil and Luke in that last couple of stages. And of course, we're going to be back with you tomorrow. A monster tomorrow as well. 84 stage miles. Don't forget, this is your last chance to get in the draw to win that fantastic model of Jason Pritchard's Ford Focus World Rally car. Manx winning car, and a model that any rally fan, especially a Manx rally fan, will be proud to have in their collection or on the mantelpiece. Maybe Jason Pritchard will win it and put it on his mantelpiece next to one of his Manx rally winning trophies. Who knows? You need to get your predictions in for the top 3 overall at the end of the rally, not at the end of day 1, at the end of the round 2 of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, which is the end of today, but at the end of the rally. Your top 3 predictions, please, and you've got to comment on this stream. It's your last chance to do so. And we will put you in the draw if you get it right, and you could be getting that model arriving in the post from rally-models.co.uk. Get involved with that. So this stage starts in Little London. It goes a little bit like the stage we were in earlier on. Ingebrek, it will run through those jumps, and they'll be tricky in the dark, picking your way through if you're not that familiar with getting the line right. Remember, you got to hug that bank on the inside. We're not going to see that, but hopefully we won't have any reports of any issues down there later in the stage, and then they'll split right up the hill at the junction over Brandywell Cottage, as we saw earlier. Instead of stopping, they'll go right around the reservoir and do what effectively is the full West Baldwin stage, which, funnily enough, is Colin McRae's stage. 1992 Subaru Legacy. He has the stage record for West Baldwin. That's at least parts of what we're going to see right here at Sartfield Hairpin. So we're going to see some glowing brake discs down here. Perhaps a mile in, we'll have got those brakes warmed up. We obviously had some issues with brakes. Hugh Hunter didn't seem too happy to be sat on his brakes at that finish where we were talking to him. Perhaps he's got some issues, but here he is, your rally leader. And it is an emphatic lead at this stage as well, and indeed, he's pulled out some really crucial seconds in the last stage. David Wright, Paula Swinscoe alongside, at the moment over 14 seconds ahead of Callum Black and Jack Morton, who have overhauled that second place from Kevin Davies and Owen Davies once again. There's a bit of a fight, isn't there, in that position. If you go to rallies.info, hopefully you'll have a bit more luck than me, because I'm struggling with it. You will get those results as they come through. Yeah, coming into this stage then, Hugh Hunter, Rob Fagg, not far behind. There you have the man in second place, Callum Black, Jack Morton alongside. And you can see how hard he's pushing in that Rally 2 Fiesta. Difficult to believe when he's been here so often that this is his first time in the lanes on the asphalt in four-wheel drive, and he's getting used to the dynamics of that Rally 2 Fiesta out here on the Manx lanes. As you could see there, an absolutely textbook handbrake turn around this, and this is a tricky, it's famous for being a tricky hairpin. You've got the step up on the inside. Whether it's up or down, you're struggling there. And Callum Black, Jack Morton on a big push. It's quite a lead after that last stage. I'm just going to try and pull it. Yeah, so 14.5 seconds David Wright, Paula Swinscoe came into this stage with. And then it was a further 20 seconds back for Kevin Davies and Owen Davies. You see them there in the Polo R5. Camera flash is just starting to glint in the dying light here on the Isle of Man. It has been the most glorious day I can ever remember here on the island. It has been almost 10 years since I was here, but I've never known blue sky like this, and I've never known a day to stay as sunny and warm as it has. It's only been 15 degrees, but it has felt at times a lot warmer than that. Getting off the plane yesterday was like walking out into a tropical climate. A waft of warm air hit you as you walked out onto the runway off the plane. But yeah, today has been absolutely glorious, which has brought its own problems for some of our competitors. Tyre choice has been more difficult than you'd think. You'd think it would be easier, wouldn't you, with everything being wall-to-wall sunshine, warm. We've got a big gap in the stage now, perhaps a problem. But Kevin Davies and Owen Davies must have had problems of their own. We're not going to get any chance tonight to get any reaction. By morning, we should understand if there's been any issues, but there is the man chasing them down and trying extremely hard to do that, as you can see. I've got every faith that if it was a bit darker, we'd see those brakes glowing on Hugh Hunter and Rob Fagg's Rally 2 Fiesta. Our producer Wayne Goldring. And in fact, it was Phil Bramwell winding Hugh Hunter and Neil Roskell up in the service area earlier in the break between the first two legs of this rally during the afternoon, saying, which one of you can do a better handbrake turn? And they're both sort of looking at each other. I said, well, we're at Startfield Hairpin for stage 9, and Paul's going to be out there, so, you know, no pressure. And we did that to a few people, so we're hoping for big skids around this hairpin, and we're getting them so far, aren't we? Don't forget to get your predictions in for the top 3 at the end of the rally tomorrow. We'll be live with you 20 to 10. Make it 1:45 to be safe at Newtown for some reactions. And there is Roskell vying for those handbrake turn points from Phil Bramwell. I'm getting them, you know. Not much to pick between Hugh Hunter. I'm looking around for... we've got some... Yeah. Yep. I think, yeah, Russ Otway and Wayne Goldring seem to agree with me that there's not much in it. So clearly we wound them up good and proper earlier in the service area. They're really hanging off that handbrake lever. So Newtown in the morning, we'll get you some stage end interviews like we did earlier on this evening after the first stage of this leg, and like we did this morning at the grandstand as well. We'll have a bit of reaction and find out, for example, why Kevin Davies, Owen Davies have dropped back so far in that last stage. And you know, we'll bring you all of the action tomorrow as well, as much as we can cram into the day. So far we're planning 10:30. Again, make it 25 past to be safe. The Curras will have the full entry through there. Gareth Mimner. It's been there or thereabouts. We said that to him. He's sort of been hanging around in the top 5 or 6 all day. He's had the pace. Perhaps not the strongest of starts, which is why he's been chasing his tail a little bit since then. But going back to the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship Cruise, our reigning champion, defending champion, getting his title defence off, so he will hope here at round 2, although it's not been a day he'll be absolutely delighted with. I think I'm safe in saying. Steve Wood, Kenny Hull should be up next in their Ford Fiesta World Rally car. 7th at the moment coming into this stage. 22 seconds to make up through 11.5 miles on that Fiesta R5 up ahead. If they've got it, spotlights ablaze in that Get Jerky Fiesta R5 Fiesta World Rally car. If they've got it, we'll surely see that from them in this stage. 11.5 miles to make all the difference to get some more points on the board here at effectively the second round. Doesn't really matter. Gareth's not registered for points, is he? So Roskell is where the fight is, and he's not got much of a hope without problems for that Rally 2 driver, which I'm sure he wouldn't hope on any of his competitors, particularly the ones fighting for the championship. Does make things interesting that Roskell is down in 5th place as well, with Steve Wood just behind Roskell took 8th place at the opening round, the Reed Group East Riding stages. And to remind you, Steve Wood retired from that rally. He had an incident, ended up stuck on a bank. Effectively, it wasn't anything dramatic, but it was frustrating, and it was early stages of the day. Well, I'm not sure if it wasn't the first stage of the day. John Stone, Laura Connell. Well, it won't be chicanes I'm talking to John Stone about in service this evening. It will be handbrake turns. Well, maybe I'll avoid that one tonight. We'll talk about it in the morning. John just getting a little carried away and just trying to get a bit too tight. That's what happens with a hairpin like Sartfield. This is formidable for that, as I mentioned earlier. If you get too tight onto the apex, then you're trying to get the car to do too much, trying to get it to pivot its tail around and set you up, as well as actually go sideways up what is a very steep incline on the inside of the hairpin there that you can see. I'm probably overthinking that. You probably already know what I've just said, but John Stone, Laura Connell, not as neat and tidy as John will be hoping. Laura, who was a little unwell yesterday, feeling much more herself now inside that Volkswagen Polo R5, and that Legend Fires car, currently in 8th place, ahead of this man who has been flying, hasn't he? Marty Turner, Ben Teggett alongside in the BMW 1M. The first of our two-wheel drive cars, and that thing has been howling its engine off through the Manx lanes today. You've been able to hear it. That between that and William Hill's Ford Fiesta Rally 3, you've been able to know exactly where those two cars are on the island at whatever time of the day. I'm actually disappointed. I've just suddenly realised something. There was a Martini Porsche with Adrian Kermode's name on it in service yesterday. And I think it was just his road car. Yeah, I assumed he was maybe doing the rally from a distance. And I did see it drive through Douglas this morning. So I just realised it hasn't come through at all. And wasn't on the entry, so... Oh, Melvin Evans on a big push. Locking the brakes up into the hairpin. Hopping the car up onto 3 wheels. Cocking its rear wheel as it fires up the lane towards Brandywell Cottage and out towards West Baldwins for the final stage of this leg. Not the best of days for Melvin Evans. You can smell the tyres and brakes as that Polo R5 is well and truly put through its paces as Melvin tries to get on terms with our rally leaders here. And fair to say, he will be a little bit disappointed. He seemed a bit disappointed, but perhaps wasn't letting on quite how much when we spoke to him after the first stage in this leg. But there was a time, particularly in that S12B Subaru Impreza WRC, when Melvin Evans was untouchable around the Isle of Man. Such is the pace and how quickly it progresses with the advancing technology on the cars, and the fights in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship as well. When everybody's pushing each other hard, the pace moves on so quickly, and we hear that so often. So it is a fascinating dynamic to see Melvin fighting in the pack, but certainly not as we've seen from him before in a league of his own. Currently in 10th place in that Polo GTI R5. Marty Turner, Ben Teggett with their mirrors in that BMW 1M full, absolutely full of Polo R5. And when I say full of Polo R5, they are on exactly the same overall time so far. After 9 or after 8 stages, this is the 9th of the day. Another man who you saw the energy from both him and Kirsty Duke as well in the Mitsubishi Evo 9 at the end of Kerristal, wasn't it? We were doing the interviews at the stop line, and you could see just how much energy there was inside that Mitsubishi Evo 9. And we are missing Steve Colley and Kirsty Duke. Lovely little handbrake turn there at the hairpin from Wayne Sisson. Just got the opposite lock and just let the car, the back end of the car, do the talking before firing himself up that lane. That was absolutely lovely. The front wheel stayed in exactly the right position, and it just spun its rear end around until it needed to use that power and launch that Mitsubishi Evo 10 up the road. Perry de Davies alongside. So we're missing Steve Colley and Kirsty Duke there. I don't know if anyone here has got any results. They can check on the retirements list. Won't have come through so quickly, I'm sure. But there was a lot of energy inside that Mitsubishi Evo 9 last time out. Val Thompson has posted a picture with her. I think it's a cat. Is that a cat? It's a cat that looks like it's got a big snake skin on it. It's a cat that's been swallowed by a snake. I know, this turned weird very quickly, didn't it? Watching the coverage, apparently our new fan. William Hill, Richard Crozier in a Rally 3 Fiesta then, and the team really struggling with parts supply on that car. Now, we talked to William at the end of Kerristal because they were struggling. They had a leak on one of the calipers, and then they realised that the rear brake discs needed changing, and they only had, I think it was the rears. Did they say the rears? They only had two with them, one that was new and one brake disc that was used and had a bit of a lip on it, which isn't ideal to go onto that Rally 3 Fiesta. So they went around the service area, they tried R5, they tried R2, they tried every single combination you can think of, but those parts are very bespoke. They're designed that way by M Sport. You've heard of the M Sport tax, and there it is, right there. If you've got a Rally 3 Fiesta, the only place you're getting parts for it right now is Ireland, and the logistics of getting brake discs here from Ireland in time for, certainly tonight's stages, even for tomorrow's stages, the 84 miles worth of stages, it will be worth that flight over, but they can't get the logistics sorted. So that problem exists not only on the car, but also in Williams' head as well. Damien Toner, Aidan Gallagher there, putting in some pretty strong times, but they're not the fastest of the toners here on the Isle of Man this weekend. 19th overall, just inside our top 20. We are missing, at the moment, Steve Colley and Kirsty Duke, so they made it through the last stage to lie in 11th place. First in class, so Class E, so they're going to be frustrated if that was as far as they went. There will be a restart as long as the car is okay to continue in the morning for effectively round 3, the next round of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championships, how it works. Richard Clues and Carl Williamson just in the nick of time registering for the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship before coming out for this second leg of stages. And why not? If you're going to put the effort in, you're going to put the investment into getting the rally car here and doing the rally and getting the results on the board, you may as well get the championship points on the board as well. And that's exactly what Richard Clues has done. That Pro Tyre Sunstrip emblazoned across the top of the windscreen on that Subaru Impreza, and going well, you know. He was talking to us earlier in service. He's a little frustrated. He's in a funny spot with his rallying. He's got to the point where he's climbed the tree. He's done his Peugeot 106s and gone through the two-wheel drive format. He's now in a car that is about the limit of what he can afford. He's going about as quick as he can in that car. He doesn't really know what to do next. Here's Steve Colley, Kirsty Duke, delighted to still see that Mitsubishi pair going, but I'm sure somebody has to confirm that. I'm sure I saw mud coming from the left rear, or perhaps it was brake dust, because there's quite a lot of brake smoke coming off the back of that car. Definitely something coming off the wheels. So perhaps they've had a small off in the stage. We'll find out presumably overnight. We'll certainly find out in the morning when we speak to them. But Steve Colley, Kirsty Duke, local crew, and really enjoying this rally this weekend, really getting to grips with that fight that they've got, surrounded by Rally 2 and R5 cars. In that older model Mitsubishi, Steve just getting back into the swing of things, like we all are. It's been a while since most of us have been out here, and he's still running. So that's great news. Really chuffed about that. Don't forget to get your predictions in for the top 3 at the end of the rally for your chance to win that Jason Pritchard Ford Focus World Rally car. Still waiting for Brad Cole, Neil Coleman through. There's Steve Orman-Smith. Oh, there we go. Oh, almost kept it going, almost kept it going. A ripple of applause and a bit of a cheer from the spectators. Steve Orman-Smith, Dafford Evans, getting a bit too tight in there. They were only a second, just over a second behind Will Onions and Dave Williams coming into this. So they'll be frustrated with the time lost there. They were 21st overall, 5th in Class E. Always frustrating when that happens, and when they've almost kept it going, the anti-lag system's fighting against the car and the driver. You're just trying to get the car back in its sweet spot, trying to get the throttle balanced again to get it going, and they just couldn't. It just couldn't get it going. So very frustrating. Damien Craig, he's fast becoming our results man, isn't he? Reporting that Hugh Hunter's up to third after this stage with a 9:35 through Little London. Let me refresh the times. Let's have a look. There we go, yeah. So David Wright, Paula Swinsko staying in the lead, but now we said, didn't we, that Callum Black was on a massive push through the stage. It was visible to see. He chucked that, didn't he, that Palace Connections Rally 2 Fiesta into the hairpin here at Sarfield. And he is now just 6.3 seconds behind David Wright and Paula Swinsko going into day 2. That is a signal of intent. That's a statement. Callum Black and Jack Morton are coming to get you in the morning. David Wright, Paula Swinsko, you better have your Weetabix. You better have an early night, because that Rally 2 Fiesta is going to be all over the back of your R5. But the other man on the move, thank you, Damien Craig, for pointing that out. I can confirm, Hugh Hunter, Rob Fagg, up to third. 26 seconds the gap, but you'd expect that given the gap and the positions coming into this. Sam Adams there, Michael Johnston in that Mark II. 26th overall, third in Class C at the opening round, and coming in to this second leg, they were lying in 20th, second in the class, so a strong result from them so far. Kevin Davies, Owen Davies then in their Polo R5 dropping down, having a bit of a nightmare actually. At this stage of the rally, dropped quite a lot of time in that last stage and have dropped quite a lot still. I mean, 10 seconds, the gap between Hunter, who's overhauled Davies for that third spot, and the Polo R5 pair. There's a big amount of time to pull out. Will Rollins, Emir Hall, showing exactly how it should be done, and using every bit of the rev range on that Mark II RS 1800 historic car as it heads towards those formidable jumps that we showed you earlier on in the Ingebrigtsen stage, heading towards the Brandywell Cottage part of this iconic part of the island here on the Isle of Man. To remind you, this stage then goes up the hill just like it did earlier after the jump, split right on the junction up the hill. Absolutely flat chat before heading out to the West Baldwin, around the reservoir. The stage that Colin McRae will forever have the record, a stage record on in that Subaru Legacy 1992. Another man in our thoughts this weekend who has a record here is Craig Breen, holds a record for the shortest ever stage in Villa Marina on the seafront in Douglas. A stage that will never be run again, which is somehow fitting, isn't it? Dave Willett, John Davies there. I tell you what, I'm very impressed. Everybody's enjoying the hairpin here. John Stone, Laura Connell, we'll have a chat about that tomorrow morning when we see them in the lineup. For those of you who remember what year will that have been? Maybe 2010, the year when it was a really wet night, as they usually are. This is very remarkable, isn't it, on the Isle of Man? Sun setting behind me with barely a cloud in the sky, just over the Irish Sea. It's absolutely beautiful. If I could reach my phone. And my hands are actually getting cold. First time today. That's unusual for the Isle of Man as well. Normally they've been cold all day. John Stone had a particular problem with the chicanes. Actually, a few of the drivers did, to be fair, but John in particular in a Skoda Fabia World Rally car. And he thought I knew that. And when I asked how the chicanes were, knowing that everyone had a problem, relying on the front brakes of that Civic local pair, Rory McCann, Paul McCann alongside. Came into this leg 23rd overall, third in Class C, and leaving the braking until very last minute there. That's a that's trust in your car, isn't it? And they'll know these lanes pretty well. And I dare say that car would have been down these lanes to bed the brakes in a few times over the years. Yeah, once or twice. Russ Otway is nodding firmly in agreement. Do you know what? There's no point me taking a picture of that lovely sunset, Russ. You're the professional. Take a lovely picture of the sunset for me, please. And then we'll get Paul Evans to put it on the social media for the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship page, because that's a really good way to end the day. It kind of tells a story, doesn't it? The sunniest, warmest, most glorious rally Isle of Man that we've ever known. Here on the Manx Rally. Bit of tape flapping and the wheel waving itself in the air there on Gordon Cunningham's Mitsubishi Evo. Charlie Sayer Payne alongside. Remember, you can flick between live coverage and results by going to rallies.info. Good to have you with us. If you're just tuning in, this is live coverage of the 2023 Manx Rally. It's currently round 2. Tomorrow it will be round 3 of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. I'm Paul Woodford. I've been joined by Phil Bramall. We've been alternating stages and stage end reactions, and we'll be doing exactly the same tomorrow as well. It's been great to have so many of you with us today, and well, we've still got quite a bit of action to go tonight as well. We're just losing a bit of the light here, which Russ Otway has just posted the picture. I saw it pop up. I'm not going to look at it yet. I'm going to save that as a treat for later, Russ, but you must tell Paul Evans to post that on the social media, because it really does tell a story of most glorious day most of us can remember here on the Isle of Man. Look out for that later, ladies and gentlemen. John Devlin, John McCarthy, first in Class C, 16th overall coming into this second leg this afternoon. And nice and neat through the hairpin there. But yeah, plenty of action still to go. The light just dying on as the spotlights are bolted on, and those spot lamps are starting to get switched on as well. Who was it came through first with them on? It was Neil Roskell, wasn't it, I think, who had his blazing? Or was it Melvin Evans? Oh, Steve Wood, wasn't it, of course, yeah, in the Fiesta World Rally car. Peter Grant confirming cracking time from Callum and Jack. They really are fighting, aren't they, out there today. Anwin Hughes, good to have you with us. Michelle Rowlands. Bit of damage on the back of that Mark II Escort. Michael Harbour, Ian McDougall. Pretty good day for them out there on the stages today. Think about the stage mileage today. 21.5 miles this morning's leg, and 32 miles. We're already 10 or so miles over the average sort of mileage you'd expect from your usual rally. So 84 miles to go tomorrow. This really is a formidable event. Talking to Mark Ellison from the Manx Rally yesterday over dinner, he was explaining that for him, growing this rally again, building it back up, getting it to what it used to be in terms of popularity, in terms of profile, in terms of support from spectators and the locals and the crews coming over from the mainland, crucially, was all about getting the mileage. And they've done just that. 137.5 competitive stage miles on the Manx Rally this year. A remarkable achievement, and one that has paid dividends. The entry list bursting at the seams. And the competitors full of praise for this year's stages, even after just the recce yesterday. William Lees, Sarah Jane Cool coming into this second leg of the rally, first in Class A, 26th overall. Doesn't sound like a Class A car, doesn't go one either like one. Ben Lawrence joining us from just over the road, the other side of the dry stone wall. One of our junior photographers out there doing the business at the moment in the sport. Dad Paul Lawrence won't be far away over there. I can just about see them both as the light starts to fade. Spotlight's well and truly on now. Now we get to of the event where the light starts to dim. and you get the flashes of the photographers' cameras. Oliver Davies with Jack Bowen alongside for his first time on the notes on the Isle of Man. I would have had Jack Bowen down as having done the Isle of Man before. It's amazing, isn't it? You have these co-drivers that seem to do everything, and you seem to crop up on every entry list, but no, it's the first time Jack Bowen has done the Isle of Man, I believe. Paul Bunch, hello to you. Adam Burkill. Damien Craig, yeah, try and be on point with the leaderboard if you would, sir. It just, you know, it saves me a hand when I really need 7 hands. I need to be an octopus. Octopuses have 8 hands, don't they? But I need to be something like an octopus with a hand missing. It went somewhere weird again, to do this coverage, though. You guys are part of the team. You're an extended part of the team watching from home. Anything you find out, anything you know, let us know. As you see Gordon Morrison and Ian Parker chucking that Escort into the hairpin here at Sartfield. This is the last stage of the day. If you're just joining us, don't forget you can catch up with all of the action today. If you've had a busy day, it has been Friday, we'll let you off. If you've been at work, you can catch up with the action on the special stage social media channels. We're on Facebook, on YouTube. You can also watch it on the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship social media channel on Facebook as well. And you can watch back the action, some of the reaction from our competitors through the day, from the start at the Douglas Grandstand. That just seems to be a long time ago now, doesn't it? It's been a long day, particularly for our crew who sailed in overnight on the overnight crossing, who are flagging somewhat now, it is fair to say. George Collister, Ian Postlethwaite, who, fair to say, have been as sideways as you would expect today on these Manx lanes that they know so well. Duncan Williams stating that this really does need to be a round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship again. It could be, but for now we're happy with it being a round. 2 rounds, in fact, of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. Now I'm getting photos in from Mark Twynham, who of course was in with Darren Atkinson, and they are, by the look of it, he's typing, so hopefully we'll get a bit of detail to go with these photos. Quite a bit of damage to that Mark II Escort there with its Haldane Fisher sponsorship. Brand new livery on the car, some of that on the redoing after this weekend. Yeah, it looks like you can see where they've gone off into the bush there. They've been lucky actually to hit something a little soft. They could have hit something worse than bushes, but that's why we lost them. They didn't come through stage 5, did they? As you see, Oliver Hunter and Matt Daniel through in their Escort after a 6th place in class finish, 27th place overall in the opening round, but a DNF on the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally here on the Isle of Man most recently, which gives you a bit of a barometer. That's all it gives you, but it is something. The Chris Kelly Memorial Rally uses some of the same stages. It's a different route, obviously, but it for the crews who've done that, it just gives us a bit of a feel for their most recent experience here on the island. But of course, after a day of rallying, after 50-odd competitive miles of rallying in these, what a pretty grueling conditions. They're great for a TV crew, not so great if you're inside a rally car. Nicely done from Barry Stevenson Wheeler and John Pickavance. But yeah, we've got a full day of action and far more of a barometer today, because the weather is going to be, according to our newly pitched up resident weatherman, Russ Otway, the weather's going to be just as glorious, if not more so, tomorrow for that monster day. 84 stage miles tomorrow. See if Mark Twynham has updated. He's still typing. There's obviously a lot to say about this. Let us know what you're doing with your Friday evening, apart from watching special stage, of course. Ben Lawrence, I know what you're doing. Yeah, Mark Twynham saying they had a slight excursion. I love the way rally co-drivers put it when they have an off. A slight excursion into the local vegetation. Birchall's stepped in, and in true Haldane Fisher and Darren Atkinson style, they're going to be back out tomorrow. But they would like to put on record their thanks to Matt Birchall, true legend in Mark's words, and he's going to help them get that car back out and then running tomorrow. Joe McKeand has been going so well, hasn't he, in that Impreza today after a 12th place in class finish at the first round. He was hoping for a little more from this event this weekend. I'm just going to flick to the live results. You can do exactly the same yourself. Sorry, I've been a bit lax with this. I was relying on Damien Craig actually to bring us the live results updates, our new intrepid reporter from behind his breakfast table. David, right, Paula Swinsko go into day 2, having won round 2, I suppose I should say, of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, but they're going into day 2 with what is now a pretty slender 6.3 second lead. They've got the new and more advanced Rally 2 Fiesta of a man with the bit between his teeth, Callum Black, Jack Morton alongside in second place. Lamp bar ablaze. And just as the light is starting to leave us here, you're getting a feel for the atmosphere that we're going to enjoy as we go into the night tonight. So a bumper entry means a bumper amount of action for your Friday night here from the Manx lanes. And as the sun dies, with it goes the temperature we've been enjoying all day. Producer Wayne is starting to hop about next to me. He's like a kid. He's got all these trigger points. You know what's up with him based on his actions. And right now I know he's pretty cold, and he's starting to get fidgety. I'll have to give him something to occupy him soon. Andrew Bird plug pulling, making the trip like I did from Yorkshire in their Escort. I do love the colour scheme on that car. Proper clubman style car. I remember growing up watching single venues and Escorts like that on them. The camera flashes are out in force, adding to the atmosphere here. Philip Hamilton, Joe Comerford, and enjoying that atmosphere. Stephen Brown watching. If that is, I don't know if that's the Stephen Brown who was out here in his micro kit car. I think it might be. He was having issues with his power steering pipe, and I think something else. Was it his? Did he lose a brake pipe or something earlier on in that micro? Good to have Pete Rayner with us, rally legend. Doesn't seem the same without having you here, Pete. Billy Grew, up-and-coming junior driver. Not a junior driver anymore, is he? Up-and-coming young driver, shall we say, a young star. Enjoying the coverage and looking forward to more of the same tomorrow. We're doing the same. But no, you guys, as I mentioned earlier, really are an extended part of our team. Obviously, the reason that Pro Tyre and the Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship crew value this coverage so much is because you guys enjoy watching it. Whether you're cheering on somebody in your family or a friend of yours, someone you service for another event from home. God, I do love that car. I mentioned earlier, I can't help but take a picture of it every time it passes me, or I see it in service. Jerry Fitzel, Mark Mason, getting on point as Startfield hairpin in that Rothmans inspired livery. It's a little more than Rothmans inspired, isn't it? But yeah, thank you for tuning in, because you do. No, it's Stephen Brown, co-driver Stephen Brown, isn't it? No, I was talking about you, Stephen. Yeah, I couldn't quite see on the screen, the profile picture. It's very small on the screen I'm watching on. It's good to have you all with us, and yeah, get your insight as well, because we are abundantly aware that the more live coverage we do, the more you get a feel for what you like and how you like it looking. And I mean, we know you like a mix of reaction and stage action. And we've listened, and we've done a bit more of that today. Obviously don't want to do too much. No one wants to tune in all day just to see people talking. Least of all me. You don't want to hear me stood here talking all day. It's all about the cars, isn't it? And the drivers and the action. So we're giving you as much of that as we possibly can. You see Rob Smith and Alan Cook. Again, everybody doing a really good job here at the hairpin. It's entertaining for all the right reasons at the moment. They were a DNF on the recent Chris Kelly Memorial Rally. Daniel Aaron Palmer, good to have you with us. My wife, Vicky Woodford, has joined us. I guess it's just like having me there, but without the chaos of actually having me there. She'll be enjoying a bit of peace and quiet. Oh, she's football mum this weekend, so football tournaments and football training and various other things this weekend. Oh, and exam revision as well. We've got GCSEs, the dreaded GCSEs start next week. Dave Tortoshell enjoying the coverage. Good to have you with us. Callum Young as well, wishing the best of luck to Lewis Gatt and Tony Edwards in car 68. Roy Hatfield, good to have you with us as well. Interestingly, this is one of the longest stages in the rally. Little London, 11.53 miles. It's the longest we've had today by some margin. Barragaroo was just under 8.5 miles, 8.45 to be exact. We've had 2 passes of that one, but tomorrow we've got the Baldwins, which is a 12.6 mile monster. We've got quite a few. We've got Newtown, 11.9, but Newtown was previously known as Millerisk, and that held and holds the record, and probably will for evermore, the longest ever stage on the Isle of Man at 21.46 miles as well. Just under half that. Oh, just bouncing that Escort over the hairpin here. Richard Hall and Declan Campbell. So yeah, Newtown tomorrow, a bit of a challenge, a long stage to start the day with as well. 9:45 in the morning, but as I say, significantly less lengthy than it was when Tapio Laukkanen took the record, the stage record, in that Renault Megane Maxi, which he won the British Rally Championship with in 1999. Bit of rally nerdery for you. Russ Otway's enjoying it, even if producer Wayne's still hopping about like an impatient child as it starts to get old here. I'm getting a cold bum, actually. I'm the only one sat down. Might have to stand up as that sun is well and truly out. Don't know, could pan around, Luke Leonard, and just have a look at that sunset. I mean, we've missed most of it now, so you'll have to look out for Russ Otway's photo later. But sun just disappearing behind the clouds. What little clouds we have here, and have had here all day on the Isle of Man. Anthony Eaton, Ian Jackson, and their Fiesta R5 Plus, 35th overall at the first round of the championship. David Cully reporting the sound quality as odd on this stream. Sorry about that. I mean, it seems to be fine. We've done a check of it. It seems to be fine. Michelle Rowland's certainly enjoying watching the coverage. Perhaps it's just my voice that seems odd to you, David Cully, this time on a Friday night. David Earthy, good to have you with us. Rhys Jones. Debbie Hall, enjoying watching Richard Hall give it a good push on the stages. Griffiths rallying, hoping to put this one on the bucket list next year, or tick it off on the bucket list next year. Paul Gold watching with us. Kenny Owen joining us as well. I'll tell you what, that little Puma there, about to demonstrate the point nicely for me, has been absolutely flying today. John Teare, Robert Turton, they're first in Class B with their efforts, 40th on the overall leaderboard coming into this second leg of the rally. Let's just flick back to rallies.info, Matthew Atkinson's results service. Just remind you of the top 10. David Wright, Paula Swinsko, as we go into day 2. We'll start in the lead of this rally, 6.3 seconds ahead of Callum Black and Jack Morton. Then it's Hugh Hunter, Rob Fagg taking that third spot, the last step on the podium in this final stage of the day. Great performance, a fantastic time from them. They're on the move, and they've got a big charge coming our way in the morning. Kevin Davies, Owen Davies displaced from that third place, now in 4th. Neil Roskell, come here, runners-up in the championship last year, and hoping to go one better, getting some points on the board in the second round here. Third round coming up for them tomorrow to do much the same. There's Kex Williams and Danny Matthews, who were lamenting the lack of rain. They're a local crew who they'd rather be spending their sunny days on the Isle of Man in the back garden sunning themselves. When it comes to rallying, they prefer the rain because it levels things, and they love these stages, and they know them very well. Of course, they know every single bump, and they know where they can push, and that BMW goes very well, wet or dry. They just prefer it a little more moist because that gives them a bit of an edge, or at least levels things out. Oh, I said moist. Producer Wayne has stopped twitching. He's now looking at me. Yeah, moving on, Woodford. Neil Ruskell then, 5th place on the leaderboard. Our reigning champion, defending champion, getting his title defence underway here at the second round of the series. That title hunt begins with a 6th place finish today, and that's where we'll start tomorrow. I think with that car, It reminds me of, it's David Ian Jones and Neil Spires. It reminds me of, remember when Tamiya used to, was it Beatties used to display the Tamiya cars, but they'd paint them the wrong colour. And so they do like a, I don't know, a Ford Mondeo touring car in green instead of blue. And it's a bit like that. It looks like an Escort Harrier, but it's yellow. And I just think of those days when, and I used to think as a kid, what a waste. Do it in the worst colours. Don't paint a Peugeot 306 Maxi in bright pink. Do it in white. Ultron does not look good against pink, and I actually quite like a yellow Escort Harrier. So sorry, one of those going off the point moments, but you're used to them by now. So defending champion Steve Wood finishes today, goes into the second or the third leg, but the second day of competition here on the Isle of Man in 6th place. 7th is Gareth Mimner. John Stone, Laura Connell 8th, Melvin Evans 9th, and Marty Toner in a flying BMW 1M, rounding out the top 10 at the minute. James Nichols, David Allman, bouncing that Peugeot 205 GTI over the hairpin. It's dangerous doing that. It's that could end up with you pointing the wrong way with your legs dangling in the air, couldn't it? In a pug for sure. Funnily enough, talking about cars bouncing around, I was talking to Kay Thompson, Charlotte Wainwright earlier after the moment that you'll have seen on our live coverage. Just going up the junction right before Brandywell Cottage, you know, that micro bounced off a bump that was the only car that actually found that bump and went bouncing off up the hill, and they only just made it through the 2 gate posts, and the concrete posts were looming large as they went through the cattle grid, and they both felt that moment. Apparently it was pretty big inside the car as well. It was a bit like the Terry Harriman moment, and actually Kay's dad pointing out that it was 40 years to the day, or nearly to the day, that Terry Harriman went through that cattle grid with Ari Vatanen in the Ascona, and he went, dear God, down Thalty Will, and it was almost the same sort of moment. And interestingly, Kay Thompson's dad and mum were competing on that very rally 40 years ago on the Manx rally, and they're staying in exactly the same hotel that they stayed in that weekend. How poetic is that? I love little stories like that. If you're just tuning in, I see a lot of you joining us. Good to have you with us. Steve Colley finishes the day just outside of the top 10 in 11th. We thought that maybe he and Kirsty Duke had issues. They were late to start this stage, not sure why. But pleased to say they are still going. The energy inside that car. Do watch back the end of stage interviews after the first stage of the of this loop, because the energy inside that car with Steve Colley, his hands were shaking with excitement when he got to the end of that stage. Working really hard. It's very physical inside these cars on these lanes. Archie Swinscoe, Jane Nichol there. His mum competing further up the entry. So a bit of a family affair. Let's see, you think so. I was perfectly confident there, Russ Otway. See, with David Wright, she's only leading the rally. It's a good day for the Swinscoes. Don't underestimate how daunting it is as you see Anthony Allery and Richard Bonner there in their Class C Escort. Don't underestimate how daunting it is coming up to a hairpin where you can see camera flashes and spectators, and you're just about picking out when it starts to get dusky like this where you need to be, and you've got to get that handbrake turn, you've got to yank that lever at just the right moment, and get on the power at just the right moment. It's all got to come together perfectly. It's quite a daunting thing. We were talking about this on the, was it the Border Counties last weekend? We were talking about it in the middle of a thunderstorm. That seems a million miles away now. After today's glorious weather here on the Isle of Man, we were talking about you don't really get the chance to practice handbrake turns. Well, not legally anyway. Where did you go to do that? You can't. I'm sure back in the 90s, all the Novas were doing it in the McDonald's car parks, weren't they? Can't do that anymore, kids. But clearly, Alan Walker and Dan Petrie have been practicing their handbrake turn somewhere, because that Escort RS 1800 went round the Starfield hairpin very nicely there, didn't it? There's a nice atmosphere out here. This seems like a perfectly decent way to spend a Friday evening out here watching the rallying on the Manx Rally in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. The rally warriors have come to town and the spectators have come out to sample the action, and I like to think that I'm just falling off the bank here. I like to think that you guys at home, although you're not here, are spectators as well. I have actually fallen off the bank, and I'm actually going to stay stood down here now. And I'm going right down the bank. I'm a bit more comfy down here, but I'm probably not as safe, am I? Apologies. I really hope that the people with cameras opposite didn't get that awkward moment where I did just slip down the spectator bank where we've been filming this final stage of the loop. I've hurt my bottom as well. That was all the entertainment Wayne Goldring needed to be brought back to the party. He's forgotten that his hands are cold now, and he's quietly chuckling away. Sorry, I'm going to have to stop for just a minute. Right, let's have a look at how these class positions are shaping up here on the final stage of the day. Going into day two then, Mark Constantine, Andrew Constantine have got one heck of a lead, or did have coming into this anyway, from Simon Hunter and Howard Pibble. Actually, I've got to mention the Constantines have, oh, that was very nicely done, wasn't it? The Constantines have been helping. They gave a front hub to Simon Hunter, to their fellow Corsa driver. And yeah, there's some real camaraderie going on in Class A. That was nicely done, wasn't it? James Grattan Smith has tuned in. Good to have you with us. Yeah, very nice from Mark Lennox and Ian Beaumont. Don't forget, you must get your predictions in for the top three at the end of tomorrow's Manx Rally. This is your last chance to do that, to win the... Have you got the model with us? You won't be able to see it in this light, actually, so there's no point in me getting it out. rally-models.co.uk. Hilariously, or not, that's actually Kex Williams and Danny Matthews, isn't it? Not the similar white BMW we saw earlier on. But everything I said still stands. They would quite like it to be wet here on the Isle of Man. Apologies to the similar white BMW earlier on. It's getting late in the day. It's been a long day here on the Manx Rally, but a wonderful one at that. Don't forget, we will be back in the morning, 9:45. Get in front of your screens, whatever you're doing. If, like Mrs. Woodford, you're going to be at a football tournament with the kids, have your phone on in the background and get some rally action on. There we go. We've got sparks coming off the brakes. And that's what we like to see. Sean Kelly, Jack Corlett pushing hard in that Mitsubishi Evo 9. So we're going to be live with some reaction at the end of stage 10 in the morning. That's the first stage of the day, Newtown. A monster to start the day off as well, an 11-odd miler. The Curras after that, we're going to be live with action from that stage. Phil Bramwell, 10:30. 11:30 we'll be live in the Baldwins, then 1:30. Sorry, 1:30. We're going to have stage 15, the Curras, and then we'll be live with the ceremonial finish at the TT Grandstand in Douglas later in the day, just before 3 o'clock. So plenty of action and reaction as well. We'll get a real flavour of how the day's gone for you throughout the day tomorrow. So whatever you're doing, do tune in on Facebook, on the special stage page, on the Pro Time Motorsport UK Ashford Rally Championship page. As you see, a pair who very emotionally and very deservedly, actually, were given the award of the best presented car, and it was a really, really nice moment earlier on. If you look on the Pro Time Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship page, you'll see those photos, and it really is absolutely glorious. Julian Dorashuk, Paul's brother, co-driving for him. They've done every single Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship since 2012, except for 2017 when Julian was injured, so we'll let him off. They came 8th place, actually, on the Chris Kelly Memorial Rally, so they do like these lanes. And Paul, belying his years, at 70 years old, to drive that car so well, scared themselves this morning, didn't they, on our live coverage from an earlier stage, in the earlier stage near Brandywell, after they came over those 2 jumps. As you see, Lewis Gatt, Tony Edwards through. They were second in Class B, 50th overall, coming into this leg of the rally after the first leg. I'll have a look, as you can, at rallies.info in a minute and just get up to date with where we are. Hello to Alex Allingham joining us, Ian Lennox as well, and Paul Marshall. Good to have you with us. Come on, let's see your predictions for the top 3. You could win that scale model of a Manx Rally winning Focus World Rally car. Jason Pritchard, flames out of the exhaust, sparks from the front brakes. And the flashes of cameras. Lee Hastings, Cole Hastings alongside in that glorious looking Impreza. Our cameraman Luke quite taken with that car. I had a good look round it as scrutineering last night, and it is some piece of kit. And you can just see the atmosphere now, can't you? Creeping in. The light dimming probably more than it looks on your screen, actually. You can see just from the definition that the camera flashes are having on the cars how dark it is starting to get. The sun has now completely disappeared, and it has become quite cold and a little bit windy as well. It's almost punishing us for having, how dare you have such good weather all day on the first day of the Manx Rally. And now it has got cold. Rhys Griffiths, good to have you with us. Owen Thomas is guessing at Hugh Hunter, David Wright, Kevin Davies as the top 3 in that order. Is also enjoying our coverage. Your last chance, you must get your guesses in on this live stream. No guesses once we get into day 2, and we will do a draw for all the right answers to win that model of Jason Pritchard's Manx Rally winning Focus World Rally car. Paul Marshall gutted that he's not here taking photos. Warner Lewis says you can't beat a dusky stage. No, you can't. There's a certain atmosphere as the light dims and the camera flashes become so pronounced, and you see the flames out of the exhaust and the sparks off the brake discs. And here we go for a car that has been going well all weekend so far. So all weekend running on Friday, aren't we? Max Murray, Matty Owen alongside. I did ask recently where all the Citroen C2 R2s had gone. It seems they're all here on the Isle of Man. At least 2 of them are, and they're being driven pretty well as well. Coming into this leg, 3rd in Class B, 57th on the overall leaderboard. Hello to Sean Long, Jamie Forrest as well. Good to have you guys with us on the live stream. If you are just tuning in, don't worry, you haven't missed anything. You can watch it all back, all of the action from today's 9 stages. This is the 9th of the day. It's the final of the day We've had 2 legs of the rally today. We've got a 3rd one to go tomorrow, and it is a monster, 84 miles, and we'll keep you up to date and entertained as we go through that day. Jeff Roberts and Ian Jones entertaining the spectators with that handbrake turn. Nicely done. Mentioned it earlier, but don't underestimate, as it starts to get dark here, how much more difficult it is to pick out your braking point and, more importantly, your handbrake point. Where do you pull that lever? Ben Friend, our 2021 British Historic Rally Champion, has picked his top 3. Callum Black, Hugh Hunter, Neil Roskell. Don't forget to predict yours to go in the draw to win that car. Pete Rayner, well, a bit of inside knowledge going on here, Pete. You should have been on the list of people who weren't eligible to put a prediction in, given your superior knowledge of the runners and riders in the Manx Rally this year. Black, Hunter, Davies in that order. Actually, I think that producer Wayne and rallymodels.co.uk has produced a model of Pete Rayner's car, haven't you? The Tamdown Escort, I'm sure you have. Not yet, he says, but it's on his list of cars to do. If you look on rally-models.co.uk, you'll see there's quite a few cars you'll recognise from our coverage and from British Rallying on there. Graham Muter and Steve Hallmark. Nicely done from them in their Escort RS2000. So to remind you, this stage starts in Little London. They come down here to Startfield, then over those 2 jumps we watched earlier on towards Brandywell Cottage, split right on that junction up the hill, and then instead of stopping at the reservoir, they go around and do the full West Baldwin's Loop, if you want to call it that. The stage that, when it was called West Baldwin, had a stage record set by a certain Colin McRae in 1992 in a Subaru Legacy, and that is a legacy, isn't it? We're still talking about him all these years later, and kept it going. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Stephen Harvey, Andy Faulkner. It's Stephen's first time here. It's his 3rd ever closed road event. So where did he learn to gymkhana like Ken Block, I wonder? That was brilliant. The spectators loved that. Yeah, producer Wayne was winding him up earlier, telling him that we wanted a big pull on that lever and big skids at Startfield Hairpin. Jamie Forrest lamenting that he's not here. 5 years since he was competing on the Rock. The affectionate nickname for the Isle of Man, alongside Roger Priestnell in the Proton Satria. No better place for tarmac rallying. It's not tarmac rallying, Jamie, it's asphalt rallying. This is the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. John Adams and William Kidd taking care of the skids in their Mark II, very Cossack style. One of the comments, I've mentioned it a few times today, that I got yesterday after just the recce, to be honest, was that Manx rallying is back to its best, with a entry list that was bursting off the page and a mileage that, you know, is as good as it's ever been in the last 10 to 15 years. 137 competitive stage miles, a fantastic route, and no expense spared on the weather that the Manx Auto Sport team have booked for this weekend. Wink, wink. I think we can confidently agree with that statement, can't we? Doesn't that Opel Kadett with Pat Johnson and Kevin Barden look absolutely glorious in the dusky light here at Startfield Hairpin? It does. Pete Rayner going to get his order in on one of the Tamdown Escort models that's coming up next in the rally-models.co.uk collection, even if it takes part of next year's budget away. Brilliant. I've got my order in for one of the Ian Joel Escort World Rally cars from last week, and that'll take up some of my budget for next year as well, Pete. I think quite a few people have cottoned on and are doing exactly the same thing. There's Mark Constantine then. Andrew Constantine alongside. They were second place. Still are second place. At the moment, 62nd overall in that Class A Corsa. Took second place in class at the opening round as well. Getting some of your guesses in now for this competition to win that Jason Pritchard Ford Focus WRC model. Paul Marshall's guessed Black, Hunter and Roskell. Brian Byrne, David Wright, Callum Black, Hugh Hunter. Interesting. That's exactly how it is now going into day 2 of the Manx Rally. Jack Mason enjoying the coverage, watching for Russ and Wendy Mason. Car 107, you'll see from them shortly. Couldn't tell if it was the brake disc slowing or the rear wheels painted on that BMW, but it looked good, didn't it? Chris Hees and Rick Sutcliffe. I tell you what, I hope Russ Otway's right about that weather forecast for the morning, because it's getting pretty chilly out here now. Look at this. My entry list here in front of me, my notes, and I can see the screen of my phone with the cars on the screen, your comments through the paper. Oh dear, we've got to that time of night. I told you it's past my bedtime, and small children get very excited about stupid small things when it gets to this time of night, and I am that when I'm on a rally. I'm excitable like a small child. David Earthy will also be putting his name down for one of those models when rallymodels.co.uk gets on that. Oh. Popping and banging, flames spitting down through the gears there for Mal Boyd and Brian Stubbs. Getting very dark now. Producer Wayne has got his little spotlight out. That's how I know it's getting dark. And obviously I'm struggling to see in front of me. It's usually a pretty good barometer as well. So Mark Constantine, Andrew Constantine, sorry I said they were second, didn't I? I meant they were first, obviously, in Class A. Simon Hunter, Howard Pridmore behind them. And it's a, well, it's a comfortable lead, but it's not unsurmountable. What is it? It's going to be 21 seconds, that lead. David Klucki, Elish Baxter. They were 39th last time out, interestingly, or incidentally at least. Elish is the partner of Steve Orman Smith in that Mitsubishi Evo that we saw at the beginning of this little London stage. So Scott Flynn and Lee McKinley in their Vauxhall Nova yet to come through with third place in Class A, but the Constantines in a bit of a battle. Well, I think 20 seconds of a gap we can call a battle going into day 2, especially with 824 miles to do, with Simon Hunter and Howard Pridmore. Class B sees Lewis Gatt and Tony Edwards ahead of John Tear and Robert Turton. Spectators getting very animated there as Rob Fisher and Carrie Bates struggle to get that Citroen DS3, that ex-Rupert Grint. I don't know if you heard me mention in one of the earlier stages, but they bought that car not realising it was Rupert Grint's old car, and Rupert Grint happens to be Carrie's brother-in-law. So there you go, there's an interesting coincidence. They've been in, it's their 4th Manx, they've been in Clios, Evo 6s, and of course James Grint is Rupert Grint's brother, who is one of the characters, I've forgotten which one, Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter film series. Yeah, they were struggling with the set. Not struggling. Rob said that the grip was phenomenal on the car, but they were just struggling a bit with the setup. Oh, there's a car that I made sure I went to find in the service area. David Crane, Janet Crane alongside, local family who enjoy their rallying here. And funnily enough, the years that we did the Manx rally, my last one was nearly 10 years ago. In fact, almost 10 years ago to the weekend. That was also Janet's last rally. And she's actually come back out in the Escort Cosworth. It's funny, you turn back up here in the Isle of Man, you see the faces and the people that you recognise and you used to knock about with when you were doing the coverage years ago, and you feel like they've been here the whole time, and actually it turns out they haven't, like you. They've been away as well, so I had a good chat to Janet, a good catch-up. But that Escort Cosworth is really smart. It's got the wider WRC-style front arches on it, but apart from that, it's all Escort Cosworth. And I just think we need more Escort Cosworths out rallying, to be honest with you. Where have they all gone? I know they're worth a lot of money these days, but really cool car with its Compromotive. Is it Compromotive or were they OZ wheels? I can't remember now. The Ford Motorsport wheels anyway. Berwyn Evans, Ivan Devine looked like they were going to do a bit of a dance for us, didn't they? They really chucked that Escort in and pendulumed that car around the hairpin here at Sartfield. Hope you're enjoying your Friday night. Let me know what you're doing. I'm always interested to know. It's one of those times of the week, isn't it, where you must be doing something other than just watching Special Stage. I'd love to think that you planned your entire evening around watching the Manx Rally with us here in the Motorsport UK Pro Tyre Asphalt Rally Championship, but quite obviously you'll be doing something else as well. David Rose got his predictions in for the top three. You've got to get it in before the end of this stream this evening. Hunter, Wright and Davies in that order. Look at the brakes sparking on that Escort. Martin and James Freeston working that Mark 1 Escort hard. Michael Hughes drove this stage 5 weeks ago on a family holiday. It's not illegal wrecking if it's a family holiday and you're not actually doing the rally, so you're safe at that. But that will be fun. We drove this stage earlier in a big production van, 3.5 ton. Oh, someone from the Manx Council might be listening. 3 ton, because that's the weight limit on the cattle grids. And it wasn't that fun in a van. Although it's always eventful when Wayne's driving his van on the Isle of Man. Stephen Brown, Friday evening equals work paperwork. Hey, that's a bit rubbish. At least we can give you a bit of entertainment while you get your paperwork done. As you see, Simon Hunter and Howard Pridmore through in their Corsa. Elwyn Pritchard abandoned fixing his road car to watch the live stream. What's up with your road car? What are you fixing? And what road car is it? I hope it's something interesting. I don't know how I feel about stopping you from working on your car, to be honest. But I suppose when it's Grum Wilcock and Donna Harper in a absolutely fabulous Opel Manta. By the way, they were down the entry list as driving something in Group A. That is very definitely not something in Group A. Class A. I suppose we can let you off. We've lost producer Wayne. Where did he go? Turn around and he's gone, and I've got Luke, our cameraman, pulling some fairly dubious hand signals at me, which I can't quite work out as to where he's gone. Nope, it's a bit like, no, yes. Even more dubious, but I do know what you mean now. He's just gone to get gloves. There's nothing sinister about that. If you could do some dubious hand signals in his direction and get him to bring me some gloves as well, that would be really appreciated. Samantha Gloria Bridson, sorry. Friday night has been planned around live streams and out on the stages supporting car 129, of course. Connor Derek Bailey Bryson, Connor Farmer alongside. There's Jeff Glover, Keith Barker in there, absolutely immaculate, brilliantly built. Wide track, rear wheel drive Mark III Astra, love that car. And he has contested more rounds of the championship than any other car or any other driver, which is a fabulous record as well. Ian McKenna, where is this stage? It's in the Isle of Man. This is the Little London stage. So we're at Sartfield Hairpin, an iconic part of the special stages here on the Manx Rally. And then it goes through to Brandywell Cottage, but it doesn't quite go to Brandywell Cottage. It slots right up the hill, goes towards the West Baldwins part of the stage, which, if you know your Manx Rally and you remember, that was ended up being a very iconic stage, and Colin McRae held the record for it when it was the West Baldwin. Hopefully that answers your question. Dave Riley and Gary Dillon popping and banging their way through the Manx lanes. You'll be able to hear them across the other side of the island here on Friday night. It's very, very still. There's not that much wind, a slight breeze. But you have been able to hear rally cars all over the island. It's been a really glorious sound walking around and hearing rally cars everywhere. Michael Hughes, it's a great stage, he says. He was visiting a mate and took his old man's maps from the 78 Manx. Well, that would have been a fantastic experience, reading it off the old maps, yeah. Very cool. Roy Brown's just got back to his hotel sunburnt after a mint day spectating. Here's hoping that you're having just as mint an evening watching the dying embers of the Manx Rally on day one. Christopher, David Berry and Lewis Griffiths in their Mark Triscott. I'm chuckling because do you not want your right-handed gloves? So you went to get gloves. Oh, you're such a gentleman, Wayne Goldring. He's brought Luke a left-handed glove and me a right-handed glove. Why does Luke get a left-handed one? I suppose that would make a lot of sense, because his left-handed comes the answer from producer Wayne. Logical as ever. I can't actually fit this on my hand. I'm like a T-Rex now. No, it's not going well. It's not going well at all. I'm holding the microphone with a glove half on. You can have it back. My hand's too big for that glove. Anyway, you know me, I only do leather gloves. The amount of people who've asked about my leather gloves this weekend, by the way. Don't always wear them. Not sleep in them. Look at this, I've got a light shining down on my entry list. Perfect planning. I bet it's by mistake and it won't stay here though. Paul Marshall's been renovating his new house in Beverley, near where I live. He's now getting a bath. Well, that's good. He's enjoying the coverage. Good that you're getting a bath, Paul. Congratulations. Richard Spink, Go Grum in the Opel Manta. What was it meant to be, by the way, Richard? Do you know what Grum Wilcock was meant to be driving? Because it's down on the entry list as a Class A car, and we all know a Manta's not one of them. Well, it'll be an interesting Class A car, wouldn't it? It's like 1400, isn't it? Sean Morris is watching the live stream, getting the kids into bed. Oh no, the kids are in bed. And tomorrow, you're getting the car ready for the comp break stages. Oh, get off the rev limiter, Michael Savino and Liam Ruddock. Peugeot 205. Enjoy the comp break stages on Sunday. Keith Anglesey spent Friday night preparing the car for the comp break stages as well on Sunday, now watching the coverage. So you guys will be going head to head. Look at the atmosphere out here on this little London stage, the last one of the day. Ian McKenna has car 93. Michael McKenna been through yet? I don't think we've had car 93 through. 2 away as far as the entry list is concerned. Oh, as far as the tracker is oh, there we go. There you go. Ain, it was worth tuning in, wasn't it? 2 more cars and we'll see Michael McKenna through. I'll tell you what, it's taken us until car 114, Gary Ollerenshaw, Stephen Christian alongside in that Peugeot 208 R2 there, to have a 3-point turn. That's our first 3-point turn of this stage, and that's pretty impressive. And taking off and away from them, I've said before, it's daunting, knowing where to pull that lever. And you see people and think, oh, God, if I get it wrong now. And because you think about it, you do get it wrong. So, you know, not a problem, but they'll be cursing themselves inside that car for doing that. But that's the first 3-point turn we've had, and it's taken to car 114. That shows the class of the field on this year's Manx Rally. Oh, it's one measure anyway, isn't it? Andy Murphy is watching with us. Co-driving legend. Yeah, you'll love that I've said that, won't you? Scott Morris is watching from the sofa while the missus watches I'm a Celebrity rubbish. And there is car 93 that we were talking about just a few moments ago. Michael McKenna. There you go, Ain McKenna. I presume that's a relative. Is it husband, maybe? Nicely through and safe past us at Sartfield Hairpin here on the little London stage. And going well today, actually. Yeah, I wouldn't want to be watching I'm a Celebrity get me out of here. I bet my wife's doing the same thing. She's tuned into this, I can see. So, but she'll have me on mute, and she'll be watching I'm a Celebrity. I'll get a text now if she wasn't watching on mute. I'll get her rolly eyes. I'm only joking, Vic. Stuart Morrison, Ali Curry, I'm done for the night and back in bed already, quick. I'm not sure what that means, really. I think I know what it might mean. Scott Flynn and Lee McKinley chucking that Class A Nova into the hairpin. Very Dave Metcalf, isn't it? Rob Priest is watching with us. Good to have you along, Rob. Hope you're well. Chanel Kinley has just wrote, come. I agree. Brilliant. Maybe try again on that one. Oh, there we go. Chanel Kinley's revised that. Come on, Michael McKenna, car 93, keep going. Sorry, I see where you were going with that come now. He's already been through, though, you do know that. I hope you haven't tuned in and just missed him. You'll be able to watch the live stream after on the page, if so. Please ignore the bogus links being posted by what are no doubt spam accounts, Hamidul via Pari. Please do not click on those links. In fact, if you would report that, that would be brilliant, please. Because these people make social media hazardous for all of us. Do not click on any links in the bottom of this stream unless it says it's from Special Stage Rally Review, and it's very unlikely that we would post any links underneath unless somebody specifically asked us for something like live results or a previous stream. So do not click a reminder on any links posted underneath this live stream. It's always free as well. Don't ever respond to any links to pay for coverage, or if you click on a link errantly, do not part with any money. It's always free. No, Chanel did manage to see Michael McKenna through. Great news, good timing. He is flying, yeah. Hopefully not flying too much on those bumps, though. Oh, I tell you what, talking about cars flying, and, you know, there goes a flying car. Kevin Jeffrey, Bonnie Papper alongside in that Corolla T-Sport. They've been really pedaling that car hard today. And Russ Otway is fist pumping. What are you fist pumping for? Oh, going up in the air. We've got a great shot of a Mini Clubman from maybe the 2011 Manx on the international event here. And the Mini's so far in the air that it's in slow-mo, but for the entire clip, it's basically on 2 wheels, doing a wheelie, which is brilliant. Speaking of which, we'll get the minis through very soon, and looking forward to that. Ash Slight's with us on the stream. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Good to have you with us. Michael Crane, car 90 gone past yet? It has. We were talking about that's the Escort Cosworth, isn't it? David and Janet. Yeah, we I had a good chat with Janet. Caught up with her first time. She'd had about 10 years and didn't realise she hadn't been rallying for all that time either. Yes, they've been through. They were going well in the Escort Cosworth. Owen Thomas, he said done. What's done? What have we ticked? What have you done, mate? That's not good. Well, it might be good, I suppose. Don't forget, you have to get your predictions in for the top 3 if you want to be in with a chance to win that Jason Pritchard Focus World Rally car. If you get it right, you'll be in a draw to win. Somebody will win that car. Johnny Ted Evans has just got his in. Right, Black Hunter in that order. And that is the order of things as we go into day 2 as well. Aine McKenna, car 93. She's put stay with her, Johnny. You've put a H on the end of wit. I think it's stay with her, Johnny, isn't it? So it is. I saw that on the back of the car actually earlier, and I meant to mention that, so you reminded me. Stay with it, Johnny. There's John McCulloch. Rachel McCulloch alongside us. Little bit of tyre smoke just visible in the camera flashes as that Escort just dug its rear tyres into the asphalt. Nicely done. A bit of tyre squeals. It powers away towards the West Baldwin's part of this stage. We've done over 50 stage miles then today on the Manx Rally. Round 2 of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship comes to a close as we go into day 2 of the Manx Rally tomorrow. 84 miles. And tomorrow it all gets underway at 9:10. Rallies.info is where you need to be to watch those results come through. You can watch live coverage with us after that. Oh, Stephen Brown is back out in that Questmead Nissan Micra. That is good news. He trundled past us earlier with the hazard lights on. The power steering pipe, among other things, the problem today. I think there was a brake problem as well, which is ironic given that Steve and his old man Alan are, well, they are the go-to people for rally car brakes as far as I'm concerned, so it can't have been anything within their control, I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, well, Jenkins alongside in that Micra kit car. Such a well-prepared car. That I had to laugh earlier walking up to the back of the car. When I started my rallying in the Junior 1000 series, I mean, I used to compete against Steve, and he was pretty untouchable. I was with Joe, who's watching with us, actually. And I just remember him cutting the back bumper away on his car. And he's still got his back bumper cut away on that Micra kit car today as well, which made me laugh. Good times. Mr. Taylor, if you're watching, I think you are watching with us, you will agree. We had some good times, didn't we, in the Junior 1000. What a great championship, and what a great concept that became. William Nelson, Craig Nelson, bouncing that Escort up Starfield hairpin. That's one way to do it, isn't it? Rhys Griffiths, car 116, having clutch issues, but should be coming through soon. Clearly got a line into that car. Claire Williams, Wilkinson, Toby Adam and Ian Meakin, yellow mark when Escort been through yet. Don't think they've been through yet. Jacqueline McCabe. Can you say hi if I'm live on your channel? Yes, Jacqueline. Hi, you're live on our channel. Alan Jones has guessed Black Davies Hunter. Paul Collins quite likes the song Stay With Her Johnny. Yeah, we all do. It's a great song, it's really funny. Ian Dobson, Graham Wild there. Yeah, nicely sideways in that RS 1600. Johnny Ted Evans is taking a break from pace note work for the Plains next weekend. Enjoying the coverage. Good to have you with us, Johnny. Thanks for your hard work on the pace notes. Kevin Charnock is watching with lots of wine. And then he's put ... Kevin Lisa. Michael Crane confirming that he's supporting David and Janet Crane in that Escort Cosworth. More Escort Cosworths, please. Please bring Escort Cosworths out rallying. Especially ones that look and go like that. Russ Mason, Wendy Mason alongside. They've got a lot of support on the live coverage today from home. Being supported by Ed James of, talking of Nissan Micra Kit Cars, Nissan Micra Kit Car fame. Of, the Rally Nuts team, of course, competing in the BTRDA Gravel Series. And he put a photo, in fact I shared the photo on social media earlier, didn't I, of the service area for car 107 where Ed had all the screens set up, so he's watching the live stream in the service area back at the grandstand in Douglas. Michelle Petrie explaining to Claire Wilkinson that Toby Adam, Ian Meakin have retired. They're showing in the retirements list on the live results. Connor Derrick, Betty Bryson, Connor Farmer there. Nicely done. There's a certain art, even more of an art, to handbrake turning and getting the power down in the right order, in the right format, with all those transitions in a front-wheel drive car, and doing a nice job in that. Vauxhall Corsa. Jacqueline McCabe saying that somebody else is using our footage. It might be the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship, because the coverage is being streamed to that page as well, Jacqueline. We are also on YouTube. I can see that the special stage account has replied to you. Oh, that'll be you, Wayne Goldring, stood next to me. Isn't it magic? Social media, well, can be, hey? Car 139 was going ever so well earlier, that Suzuki Swift. I'm always feel really sorry for the Suzuki Swifts. There's not many of them out. Where have they gone as well? A bit like the C2R2, they've all disappeared, but I always feel really sorry for them because they can't be that competitive in the class, can they? That's Keelan Beattie and Macklin Wilson. I tell you what, they were absolutely hustling that little Suzuki through the stage we were in earlier on, and they were giving it a really thorough wash in the service area as well during the break between leg 1 and leg 2 earlier at the grandstand in Douglas, which I love to see. Yeah, shine that light over here, producer Wayne. Very dark here. Damien Craig, when will you see me in a car? I've done my driving and my navigating days. Never say never, but I do feel like my competing days are done. I went out with a friend of mine recently in a very fast car, and I was not interested in one slightest bit in going fast. Admittedly, it was on the road, and I've never been a big one for driving too fast on the road, I've got to say, but no, didn't interest me much. Stephen Higgins, Corey Powell-Jones. Here come the minis, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get some entertainment now here. Although we haven't already at Sarkfield Hairpin, because the minis are great round here. It's just, look at how much that mini, I'm just watching the footage back a little bit, just bounced up there. Absolutely fantastic. In fact, who was it who was recently trying to get me out in a car? There's quite a few people who've tried to get me out in a car recently, and I've been resisting. I am quite happy doing this. It used to be that I felt like I'd retired from driving and I was doing this as a second choice. Naturally, I came to realise many years ago now that actually I like doing this. This is what I was made to do. David Mickelcreast, Alan Carter's there. That was John Goff actually most recently trying to get me out in one of his Mini Cooper Challenge cars, and I really appreciated the offer, and you know, I never say never, I might get out. It's a fantastic category, that, and I love what he's doing for the sport yet again after all his rallyschool.co.uk exploits, with all the amount of rally careers and hobbies that he has inspired and sprungboard with his endeavours over the years. It's great that he's got the mini challenge up and running, and he was telling myself and Aaron McClure, yes, Aaron McClure is here on the Isle of Man, ladies and gentlemen, the Scarlet Pimpernel rallying. We found him. John Goff was telling us how you can buy a car for £5.5 grand and you're out of the box competitive, and somewhat reassuring, that, isn't it, that you can still do that. Phil Jones, Ryan Griffiths there through this 9th stage of the day, the final stage of the day. Dave Golding, you can't beat the classic minis. I'm struggling here with the wind. My notes blowing around as I'm trying to sort of skip between notes and your comments, which I'm trying to get through here, and the results as well. Jacqueline's enjoying herself on the live stream. Go on, Keelan Beattie and co-driver. Like we champions. Ed James, hashtag microfriend. Yeah. Owen Thomas is asking Dan Petrie what his prediction is. Dave Golding has got Black, Hunter and Wright in that order. Kerry Williams is sending hello to Guy Butler and Kay Thompson. We'll see from Kay Thompson and Charlotte Wainwright in that micro very soon, the one that we saw bounce up the road as it split right up the hill towards Brandywell Cottage. Andrew O'Hanlon, Kevin Hogan there through in their H1 historic Mini Cooper S. So we're going to be live tomorrow with 3 full stages of action for you. Stage 11 at 10:30, the Curras. Stage 13, 11:30, the Baldwins. And 1:30, stage 15, the Curras. Again, we'll also have live reaction first thing in the morning after the first stage of the day at about 10:15, and also from the finish at the TT Grandstand at just before 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So do tune in tomorrow for us, or with us on special stage. For the conclusion and the biggest day yet of the Manx Rally, 84 stage miles tomorrow. Mick Quinn and Mike Percival there in the clear. I had a quick hello with Mick earlier in the service area. We've put the Facebook live times, and it'll also be on YouTube as well, on our social media, so do have a look through if you want to remind yourself of those times tomorrow, so you can join us for more live action from the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. A micro up onto 3 wheels there. I feel like that one was for Ed James. That's Carl Wagstaff. Mark Wagstaff alongside Shinobu Kitani and Hiroku. Kitani had a big moment earlier over the 2 jumps. They'll be taking things a little easier, I think, over those 2 jumps towards Brandywell down the hill after this bit of stage here tonight, because that was quite a hairy moment. We weren't quite convinced that Mini was going to make it past us. We thought we might be digging it out of the undergrowth. It turned out okay in the end, but they confirmed it had been a bit of a bum-clenching moment, shall we say, in service. They didn't say that, actually. That wasn't their words. They're a bit more classy than that. Philip Alwyn passing Dennis Harris through in the Mark II. Spectators still, there were hardly bunch here in the Isle of Man, still out there on the side of the stage, enjoying the atmosphere here. The camera flashes do add a certain something, don't they? And the glowing lights inside the Marshall's radio car alongside from us, which reminds me, actually, we should put a word out for our army of volunteers on this weekend's Manx rally, because it really is an army, and a valued one at that. Our friends in Orange who put their efforts in so that we get to go rallying. So a big thank you to you if you've been marshalling this weekend, or indeed if you're marshalling anywhere this weekend on a rally or at a race meeting. You guys are right at the heart of our sport, and we appreciate what you do, so thank you. Our set of Beath has been going well today. Greg Pye, Ken Cotty alongside. Local pair from the Isle of Man here. A few cars left as we go through this final stage of the day. No Kay Thompson, Charlotte Wainwright through yet. I was expecting them through by now. Hopefully no problems for that pair after we were talking about their exploits earlier on. They were pushing hard, and 40 years since Kay's parents did the rally and are staying in the same hotel as well. Lovely bit of poetry. It'd be nice to see them through. Or in fact, did we get them through earlier? No, I don't think we have we? There we go. Look at that for timing. Absolutely impeccable. As was that extremely tight line and the inevitable scrapes underneath the car, Kay. At the hairpin here in Sartfield. So there they go. Kay Thompson and Charlotte Wainwright through and right on cue here in this final stage of the day. We're running through to the last few cars on the entry, so just one last reminder to make sure that you get your prediction in for this Jason Pritchard Ford Focus WRC Manx winning car, the model of which you could win if you get the prediction right and go into the draw. Talking of the Mini Coopers, John Goff was selling the virtues off to me yesterday in the service area. I will give you one last look at this excellent model, and then because it's dark I might be able to hide it and run away so Wayne Goldring can't catch me up. This is the prize if you guess today's top three right. I don't know why I'm holding it here for you to see. The camera's nowhere near us. That's the prize that you could win if you get the top three right. If you predict the top three at the end of the Manx Rally tomorrow, you could win this. It's a fantastic prize from rally-models.co.uk. It's Jason Pritchard's Manx Rally winning Ford Focus WRC. So your last chance is right now. You won't get another chance to enter because the competition closes after the first day of the competition. I observed that you couldn't really see the model very well on the live stream, but believe me, it's very cool. Andrew Foster, Chloe Percival through there in their Corsa. A couple more cars to come through, and then that will be it for the first day of the Manx Rally. It's the live coverage that we've brought to you today, myself and Phil Bramwell. The rest of the special stage team comes to an end here in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. The sun has well and truly set, but there's still a faint yet fiery somehow orange glow over the bay here. Behind us on the Isle of Man, still a bit of colour just glinting across the sea after what has been the most glorious day any of us can remember. I can't remember having a suntan as good as this on the Isle of Man. Wall-to-wall sunshine, blue sky, and we will round things off there for the first day. So thank you for joining us here on the live coverage of the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship. We will see you in the morning as Sport Labs dance in the evening Manx sky, and luckily, after locking up the brakes and firing that Corsa at the inside of the hairpin, we don't have a damaged car to dig out of the undergrowth. But tell you what, fair play, because to be fighting at this point of the entry that hard and throwing the car in is shows good spirit, shall we say. Where was I? Yes, we will see you bright and early in the morning. We'll have reaction from the first stage of the morning. 84 stage miles tomorrow. It is a monster, and you'll be able to catch the action and the reaction as we take you through the story and the conclusion to the 2023 Manx Rally in the Pro Tyre Motorsport UK Asphalt Rally Championship tomorrow. Have a good night, whatever you're doing, and we'll see you bright and early for more rallying here on the Isle of Man. Thank you for watching.